Tired of upgrades that still sound like stock? Stick around. These 6x8 picks change your car's soundstage from flat to full-on goosebumps. Today's lineup counts down 5 standout 6x8 car speakers, from budget wins to high-clarity champs, so you'll know exactly which set belongs in your doors and why. Expect real-world impressions, the good, the bad, and that oh wow moment when the highs finally shimmer and the bass stops flubbing. And keep an ear out for the number 1 spot. There's a reason it's there. ORION CB683. The ORION Cobalt is a true budget-friendly gateway into better sound. And well, for the price bracket, it punches above its weight. It's a 6x8 3-way coaxial with a polypropylene cone and butyl rubber surround, rated at 70 watt RMS and 280 watts peak at 4 ohms, which means it can take a bit of power without folding under pressure. In basic head unit setups, vocals come forward cleanly and the overall balance leans warm, so daily driving playlists feel fuller than stock. On first listen, the mid-range presence is what stands out. Spoken word and classic rock guitar sit nicely in the mix. The 3-way layout helps with perceived separation, and the sensitivity around 88 dB means you don't have to crank the dial to get usable loudness. You know, it's the kind of speaker that makes podcasts and pop tracks sound more alive without demanding an amp straight away. Where it shows its price is on extension. Bass reaches down to a usable floor for a door speaker, but doesn't really dig as deep as enthusiasts might want, especially at higher volume where the lower end softens a touch. The published response is roughly 75 Hz to 20 kHz, which tracks with what's heard: punchy mid-bass, less sub-bass authority. It's fine for factory replacement, not for bass heads without a sub. The top end is listenable and not overly sharp, but cymbals can feel a bit splashy on dense mixes when pushed. That 3-way sparkle is there, just not ultra-refined. 4. Pioneer TS-A6881F. Pioneer's TS steps up both design and detail. It's a 4-way coaxial rated at 80 watt RMS, 350 watt peak, with a carbon and mica reinforced IMPP woofer cone, a 42mm mid-range, an 11mm tweeter plus a super tweeter, very much the open and smooth A-series DNA. Sensitivity is about 90 dB, impedance 4 ohms, frequency response a wide 30 Hz, 32 kHz, measured -20 dB window, and mounting depth a friendly 62mm. In practice, it sounds lively, open, and surprisingly airy for this class. The mid-range lift is tasteful. Vocals have body without the honky smear cheaper 4-ways sometimes introduce. That carbon mica cone adds snap to kick drums, and the upper treble from the super tweeter gives ride cymbals that ting you notice on high-resolution tracks. With a modest amp, these wake up even more, translating micro detail with better control than most factory speakers. Installation-wise, this set is straightforward. No grills, but most factory grills are fine. Cutout dimensions align with common 6x8, 5x7 locations. Imaging across the dash is stable once aimed properly, and the added drivers genuinely contribute to a wider, more layered stage. Movies and concert recordings in particular feel immersive. Now the but. The 4-way configuration, while expansive, can sound slightly busy in harsh cabin acoustics if the head unit's EQ is aggressive up top. You might find yourself pulling 2 to 4 dB from the treble to tame brightness. 3. Kicker CSC68. Kicker's CS series has a reputation for instant grin factor, and the CSC68 sits right on brand. Punchy mid-bass, crisp highs, and a turn-it-up attitude. As a 6x8 coaxial, it's tuned for lively dynamics and high-clarity vocals that cut through road noise. In daily use, there's a nice sense of attack on snares and a tight, rhythmic bass line that gives hip-hop and EDM a satisfying groove without smearing. The CS sound is enjoyable at lower volumes, but really wakes up with a bit of power. Factory head units are fine. Small amps make them sing. The top end is vivid yet controlled enough to avoid fatigue on long drives, especially after a gentle EQ pass. Imaging is stable, center vocals feel anchored, and guitars have that energetic bite that makes rock tracks pop. Build-wise, the CS line typically leans on durable cones and balanced dome tweeter designs that hold up to daily abuse, hot cabins, and high playback. Fitment for common Ford Mazda 6x8 bays is typically straightforward. If you've swapped stock speakers before, you'll breeze through these. Where these stand out is consistency. Throw on anything from modern pop to old school funk, and the presentation stays cohesive. No weird dips or honks. Just a broad smile curve that flatters most mixes. It's the set friends climb in and immediately notice, whoa, your car sounds better. If you're craving a clean toe-tapping upgrade without getting into component crossovers, the CSC68 checks the boxes, especially paired with a compact amp or a powered sub to round out the lows. 2. NVX NSP68. The NVX NSP68 is the stealth value hero. On paper, it's a coaxial with silk dome tweeters and a balanced, musical tuning. In practice, it over-delivers with smooth highs and unexpectedly robust mid-bass for this class. You know, some speakers impress out of the box. The NSP68 grows on you the longer you listen, especially with acoustic, R&B, and cinematic scores where texture and tone matter. From the first week of use, what stands out is the non-fatiguing treble. Silk domes give detail without the sandpaper edge, cymbals decay naturally, and sibilants stay in check. Mid-range is honest and unhyped, so vocals sound real, not plasticky. That makes it great for daily commuters and long road trips, hours of listening, zero earburn. Bass presence is more about definition than brute force. With a properly sealed door and modest amplification, kick drums have shape and weight, and bass guitars are easy to follow in the mix. It won't replace a sub, but it integrates beautifully with one, handing off cleanly around the 80 to 100 Hz region. Installation is straightforward for 6x8 cutouts, and because the tuning is so balanced, you won't spend much time fighting cabin resonances. A small bump in the 1 to 2 kHz band can bring a touch more vocal intimacy if your dash absorbs mids, but out-of-the-box EQ is already well judged. In short, the NSP68 is that dependable buy-it-once, be-happy pick. Musical, smooth, and friendly to a wide range of head units. 1. JBL Club 864F. JBL's Club earns the top spot because it blends everyday efficiency with enthusiast-grade clarity. Rated at 60-watt RMS and 180-watt peak with a 3-ohm nominal impedance, it draws a little extra power from factory wiring for more punch. Sensitivity sits at 93 dB, 2.83 volts. Frequency response is 65 Hz to 20 kHz. And the +1 polypropylene woofer cone with rubber surround flat out helps the 6x8 size behave like a bigger driver. Edge-driven silk dome tweeters bring that studio-like sheen without harshness. First listen, the bass feels more authoritative than most 6x8s, tight, tuneful, and stable as volume increases. The mid-range is clean, so vocals float above the mix with clarity, and the highs are extended yet smooth enough to keep long playlists enjoyable. The 3-ohm design is clutch. Even on stock radios, you get a bit more energy, while a compact amp turns these into honest little monitors for your doors. Imaging and stage width are where 864F really shines. The edge-driven tweeter disperses highs evenly, so you get a coherent stage across the dash. Guitars and pianos sit precisely where they should, with air around them. It's the difference between louder and better. Subtle details, microdynamics, breath-in vocals, all just appear. Practicality is solid too. Top mount depth around 2 to 3/8 inches makes fitment easy in most 6x8 locations, and while grills aren't included, factory grills are typically perfect. The tuning is friendly across genres, whether it's modern pop sheen, jazz brushes, or orchestral crescendos, the 864F stays composed and musical. Closing thought. So which one should ride home with you? If you're watching the budget and want an instant clarity lift, the ORION CB683 is a safe bet. If you crave detail in a wide stage, Pioneer's TSA 6081F brings sparkle and scale. For fun, energetic sound, Kicker CSC68 is hard to beat. For smooth, non-fatiguing musicality, NVX NSP68 is a gem. And for the best all-rounder with real upgrade headroom, the JBL Club 864F is the one to beat. I mean, once you hear that +1 cone and silk tweeter combo lock in, it's hard to go back.